Alrighty, here's another quick ICM video. I'm gonna look at 5 spots from like the last couple of days. Some of these are pretty fresh. Alright, so I basically screen grabbed the spot, and then I also screen grabbed the spot when I ran it into ICMizer. So starting off here, we're in a $22 9-man, 6 remaining. Believe I start out in third, and I'm in the cutoff. So I'm shoving into a 10, an 8.5, an 11 big blind stack, and it looks like King 9's the exact border. It has me shoving 27%. I think Poker Hype and McCaffrey may overfold, so I still think I like this. That being said, I do have a pretty big cushion to start the hand, and this is a pretty soft field. Like, I am really trying to get better about taking these thin spots, but I'm also trying to get better about picking my spots. And so, as you can see here, I get snapped off by 9s, but I don't know. I think given their calling ranges, this is a plus EV shove. It just may be super marginal. Let me know what you think. All right, next spot. Okay, this one felt pretty gross even before I got snapped off. This is a $55 9-man, 6 remain. I'm in second, and me and Balenciaga are like pretty snugly in second and third, even though like no one's really deep other than the chip leader. And I think that's kind of why this is a blunder a little bit, because yes, I think Rough Buff overfolds, and he's going to be the guy who should be calling the widest. Balenciaga actually may overcall, make him probably as near perfect or like slightly tighter. Also, Shootman's an unknown, so Shootman could just like, call with 7s here, which would be disastrous. I don't know if I need to take this spot. Certainly, I don't think I should be taking the spot with 6s. In the moment, it felt okay. It just kind of felt like first and second in chips like couldn't really call much, and that I'm really kind of just going up against like 9, 10 big blind stacks. But I am in the hijack, and there's just like a lot of people for me to get through. Yeah, like 8s isn't even that plus EV. I guess anything like other than like Jacks plus is pretty risky, just given the fact that I can get stacked here. But took it, got crushed. This one is just really standard. So Train 50 is definitely on the nittier side, but he has the push fold down a little bit, at least the pushing side of it. I think this is near an NA2 spot for him. I just thought it was interesting that I'm only supposed to be calling 10%. Like, I actually tanked with Jack 10 off and folded, because like it just feels like a chip EV call, but then like a minus EV ICM call. So, and I don't actually think he's shoving as wide. He may be shoving like 70% here, or 60%, when he's probably like 90 or 100%. So I passed. I also thought that like some future game stuff, just given that I'm going to be small blind and button soon, and I also think the other 2 players in the field are like pretty weak. I didn't really want to take a thin spot here calling. I'd rather take a thin spot pushing, but I decided to pass on this. This may seem obvious to y'all, but I don't know, I wanted to mark it. Okay, this one was the most interesting spot for me. This is something that I'm still learning about. This is something that is tough to balance at lower stakes with higher stakes. Like, globals go from, well, at least what I play. I play the 22s to the 110s and occasionally the 218s. And, calling ranges and ICM awareness at like the 50s, 60s, 110s, and 218s is way different than like the 20s, 30s, and 40s. McCaffrey's on the sit and go leaderboard. He's by far one of the better players that I'm going to be up against. which is weird because like in moment I didn't want to bust here. Like I mean, look, it's like 6 big blinds, 7 big blinds, 8.5. But I'm about to beat the button, and these players are pretty weak anyway. And so like it's just like I thought it was gonna be hard for me to bust, but apparently this is just like a slam dunk shove because McCaffrey, as you can see here, where is this not? Is only supposed to call 20%, and honestly, he's probably gonna call like 15%. So this is gonna work like almost 9 times out of 10. I mean, maybe he's only calling 10%. I don't know. It just sucks because like it's hard for me to balance the, 1 time out of 10 that he calls and I'm like pretty dead, versus all the times that he fold and I pick up more chips, which makes me much more likely to get first. This has me shoving 75%, and I think in game, I would have realistically shoved like 25 or 30%, so I would have been way off. Because McCaffrey's ICM aware, this is probably a spot that I can just like get better at and start taking, because I know he's going to be like, he should be folding a lot. I think sometimes I kind of take lower variance routes, or I kind of just assume my opponent's just like really bad and may like overcall, and so I won't take these spots. But especially as I'm playing better opponents and moving up, this is something that I need to work on. Okay, so last spot. I actually thought this was a shove. I shove here. You don't see it from the screenshot. They both called me, which was funny. And I'm trying to figure out why this isn't a shove. And I think it's a chip EV shove. I actually didn't check that. But I think it's not a shove because, okay, so first of all, we're in a 9-man. Top 3 pay, 6 remain. Some guy has all the chips, run pure. And then I'm really close in third. Me and the guy in second are really close. And then this guy has like 4 bigs, this guy has like 4.5 bigs, this guy has 5.5 bigs. I'm also button, so like I'm not going to be hitting the blinds for a while. That being said, when it folds to me, I kind of thought that small blind would have to be tight here, but that's just not the case because he's not top 3. He already has some chips invested. I can be shoving wide. So if you look at small blind's calling range here, he's supposed to be calling 20%-ish, which he probably calls like, I guess he's calling pretty snug. He's calling like 10-15% maybe here. And then big blind is supposed to be calling 44%, which I didn't know big blind was supposed to call that wide, like calling queen 4 suited, calling king 2 suited, calling king 4 off and queen 8 off, 9-7 suited. I guess they have just such a big part of their stack in already with the big blind, but looking at this spot, I just felt like both players would just overfold. That's kind of like population tendency to just be too tight here for the tournament life. But I think I didn't, so I looked at the shortness of their stacks and maybe like correctly assessed like their calling ranges, but I don't think I correctly assessed like the whole situation. Like I think I'm just too far in third, basically too far like likely to cash to take this spot, but I don't know, Jack 3 is pretty borderline. It has Jack 6 suited as a cutoff. This is close, and so yeah, this is my last spot for the day. Gonna try to do a live video pretty soon. It's just hectic. Like I was like 11 and 12 tabling for a decent bit of the day today. Anyway, hope you liked it. Send me some feedback. Thanks.